Hey guys, I wanted to talk today about something that I had to figure out on my own. And that's the whole point, isn't it? That we figure it out and then we share it, and so others can be assisted on their journey. But what I'm talking about today is levels of truth. And you know, if you're experiencing or have experienced a Kundalini awakening or an intense spiritual awakening, there's a process that you will travel through, and it includes these levels of truth. And see, what I've now become aware of is that these levels of truth are what's also known as like the veils, right? And as we progress through them, we actually all go through each and every veil. We may do it differently. We may feel differently about it. We may be guided differently through it, but we all travel through these revealing, unveiling levels of awareness, levels of truth. And the biggest thing to remember through my experience personally is that every level of truth is true. And what this means is when you're processing through these levels and expanding into these awareness states, it's really important to allow yourself to be wrong. When we hold on to a version of truth or a level of truth as the way it is, we're actually clinging to something that's keeping us stuck. Now, making my way through these levels of truth, I have become aware that it's a process of expanding into the realization that yes, at a certain level, that's true. But there is another level that also contradicts that truth. But they're both true from the level of awareness that you need to be residing at to have the experience that you're having. Now, what I've noticed a lot from those who are progressing through their journey, and myself included went through this stage because we all go through these stages, right? Is that when we reach a certain level of awareness or a certain level of truth, we can then feel like we've kind of figured it out and that we could assist people just getting from point A to point G without having to go through every other point. But it's not true. You can't actually get from point A to point G without all of the places in between. What this means, and what I've become aware of and what's coming through to share, is that it's really, really important to allow people to be where they are and see them as a place where you used to be. Then when we come from that level of truth and we approach someone with the unconditional love and care of the understanding of where they're at, we can actually hold space for them better. We can know and become aware of what they need because we understand where they're at. More often than not, in this journey, people are at a specific level that they believe that they're worth. But just like one of my other videos, I've spoken about the pile of dynamite. So the pile of dynamite gets built throughout our life when we're in unawareness. And what this does is when we have an awakening, it lights up, blows up that pile of dynamite. But every piece that gets lit has a specific purpose within our journey that we've chosen. So what happened to us may have been unfair, may have been caused by somebody else, may have been exactly what we asked for, may have been completely manifested by us, and may provide the biggest growth and journey that we could, growth and expansion that we could ever imagine. They're all true. at the same time. But we have to process them all, and we have to journey through this part on every level, which is why these levels of truth exist, which is why there's levels of awareness, which is why it's known that we somewhat make our way through the chakras so that we can experience life, and I guess this experience in totality from every angle, from one experience being experienced in all different ways. It's like us within an experience. So when we're approaching someone, or when we're holding space for someone, or when we see someone that's really struggling and we would like to provide assistance, bring yourself back to when you were at that level of truth, when you were at that awareness, because ultimately they are you. And when we manifest people into our life, it's so we get tested. Can I hold space for somebody at the level where I used to be in unawareness? Now, when we love and accept the people as they are in unawareness, it is the same as loving and accepting ourselves as a past state of us. Because if we look back on ourselves in unawareness and the choices we made and the decisions that we made with regret or rejection or guilt or shame, we are pushing away those parts of ourselves. So when people get brought into our life, we have an opportunity to show love and acceptance for them as they are, which then is showing ourselves that love and acceptance when we look back and see and think about what we did when we weren't aware. Because unconditional love is the only answer. I hope this helps. See ya.